Okay, good afternoon. Let's take a look at this problem. So many LP problems, linear programming problems, are applied to finance. So we will have several examples. And the first example that we'll have on finance is the management of cash flow. So we have this company, Fibertex. It's into the production of, ano yung pinoproduce sila? I forgot. And then their raw materials are imported. Some of it are imported from China, and they currently they need a shipment of raw materials worth 8 million. This is including shipping costs and taxes. So this is all in already. Now, because they're a favored client, the supplier, I'm sorry about this, agreed. So sorry for the wrong grammar. Kindly check. The supplier agreed to a staggered payment of 2.5 at the end of the second month, or the beginning of the third month, and at the beginning of the fifth month, and finally at the end of the sixth month, or at the beginning of the seventh month. So we will consider the beginning of the month as the same as the end of the previous month. Okay, so 8 million, that's quite, for the company, that's quite a huge amount. So they want to come up with a sinking fund. Okay, if you're familiar with the sinking fund, it's a fund that's earmarked or that's set aside for a particular, say, project or for a particular goal. In this case, the particular goal is paying the 8 million. So usually the sinking fund occurs at the beginning. Okay, that's why we're told here that let's change this class because this can be quite confusing. Treasury bill A, let's make this treasury bill B.
Sharing your screen po.
Am I not? I'm sorry.
Hindi po.
Sorry. Share screen. Okay, very sorry about that. Okay, so as I was saying, the company is Fibertex, and they need to purchase 8 million worth of supplies, and the supplier agreed for them to make a staggered payment of 2.5 at the end of the second month or at the beginning of the third month, and then another 2.5 at the beginning of the fifth month, and then 3 million at the end of the sixth month or at the beginning of the seventh month. So if we add this 2.5, 2.5, and 3, that's 8 million. Now the company would want to establish a sinking fund. Okay, so this is recorded, yes. So the sinking fund, the objective of a sinking fund is to set aside a particular fund, and that fund will be earmarked for whatever purpose. So the objective here is to set up a sinking fund and then put it in short-term investments. Okay, so the short-term investments here are it's a Treasury Bill A, okay, Treasury Bill B, Commercial Paper A, and Commercial Paper B. So these are the potential investment vehicles that the company identified. So the availability of these instruments are, for TBA, it's every month. So which means they can invest at month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. For TBB, it will be, so if let's say next week will be month 1, it will be on month 1, then month 3, month 5. So it will be every other month. So it's not available every month. And then commercial paper will be available every 3 months. And then CPB will be just every 6 months. Okay. And the yield or interest rates are, of course, based on the length of the term. So we see here that A, which is just 1 month term, it's at 1.8%. We will assume that this is already monthly rates. Okay, so this is monthly rate, 1.8%. Although when you're given a rate and nothing is specified about it, it's always assumed to be annual. So for this, I think I failed to mention here, YTMs or yield to maturities are rated monthly. Okay, So let's just put that. Yield to maturities are rated monthly. 1.8 per month, 3.5, 5.8, and 11.7. Not monthly, but rated based on the term. Okay, when you say based on the term, so TBB has a 2-month duration. Okay, so this 3.5% is for 2 months. Okay, so again, class, may I request you to please change this because it might cause confusion. TBA is available every month for the next 6 months and will provide returns of 1.8% per month. So TB, on the other hand, this is TB, TBB is available available only on the first. I think this is wrong. This is CP. Sorry for the typographical error. CPA. CPA, on the other hand, is available on the first, fourth, seventh month. So we're asked to formulate an investment plan by creating the lowest possible sinking fund for the raw material requirement. Okay, or to finance the raw material requirement. All right, so this is our financing problem. Okay, so the objective is to create the least amount of sinking fund. So which means that it should be created at the beginning of month 1. All right, so let's plot first our timeline. It's very important to understand our timeline. So let's say this is let's peg this at the beginning. Okay, the beginning of month 1, beginning of month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6, and it will be up to month 7. Why up to month 7? Because the agreement with the supplier is that the company should have paid the purchase by the end of the 6th month. Okay, at the end of the 6th month, which is the beginning of the 7th month. All right, so this is the timeline. Okay, so we can what we need to do is how much should we invest at the beginning of month 1? So that's what we want to know. How much is the minimum amount that we should invest at the beginning of month 1? So since it's minimum, of course, we would want to, as much as possible, establish the minimum sinking fund and then invest it in this short-term investment so that we will be able to address what are their gaps here. The cash flow requirements will be, why are there gaps? Okay, so we invest at the beginning of month 1, and then the cash flow requirements will be at the beginning of month 3. How much do we need at the beginning of month 3? Class.
2.5 million, sir.
Yes, correct. So at the beginning of month 3, we need 2.5 M, right? Okay, what else? Do we need an amount at the beginning of month 4? Class? It's important for us to identify when are the cash flow, what's the cash flow requirements. So not at month 4, but take note this, we're looking at this from the perspective of beginning. At the beginning of month 5, we have to have another 2.5 because that's the agreement with the supplier. Okay, we pay 2.5 at the beginning of the month 3, beginning of the month 5, and then at the end, 3 million at the beginning of month 7. So these are the cash flow requirements. Okay, when are we going to set up the sinking fund here? Okay, all right, so what will be our, let's now identify our decision variables. What is it that we want really? what are our decision variables? These are your investment vehicles. Okay, for TBA, okay, when can we invest in TBA? Treasury bill type A. Class. Is it possible for us to invest at TBA at month 1? Class? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Pwede naman, sir.
Yes, of course, of course. Remember, we're going to set up the fund at the beginning of month 1. So the question is, what are we going to do with that fund? So we will have to place that in an instrument that earns. Kasi the amount that we need to raise is 8 million. The question is, how possible is it to raise just enough so that when we roll over the funds and when we let it increase via the interests, we will be able to have 2.5 at the beginning of month 3, 2.5 at the beginning of month 5, and 3 million at the beginning of month 7. So these are just short-term investments because that's just the window for our investment requirement. Okay, so this is just a short-term cash flow plan. Okay, and of course there are cash flow plans that are long-term. So for this one, it's just short-term. Okay, so for TBA, okay, so let's identify for TBA when will this when will we put out when will we, let's say, put out the money. Okay, so we're looking at this class from the perspective of investment. Okay, we're going to put out the money and then we're going to collect the money, these amounts, so that we will be able to pay our supplier. Okay, so let me put this as outflow and then this one as inflow. Let's just define some of the variables and then we'll continue with this next meeting because we will not definitely be able to solve this today. Okay, so for TBA, okay, let's call this TBA 1. Okay, which means that we're going to invest this, we're going to put this outflow, we're going to put it in instrument. When, class? What month? Beginning of?
Beginning of the month.
Beginning of month 1, right? And when will it become an inflow?
At the end of the month.
Month.
Or beginning
Yeah.
of month.
Correct. Beginning of month 2, right? So remember, these are beginnings, okay? Beginning of month 1, it will be an outflow. When we say outflow, we will put it out there in this instrument. We will load it, we will invest it in TBA. I'm calling it now TBA 1 because this will be invested in month 1. All right? Okay, so what are the others, class? How about TBA, TBB, TBB 1? Okay. Can we invest in month 1 for TBB? Because we have 4 types of investments.
Yes, we can po.
Yes, we can. Okay, when will be the outflow?
1,
1.
Month
Okay, month 1. When will be the inflow?
3.
3, correct. So I think you now understand. We are mapping when we're going to put out the money and when we're going to get the money. All right. So how are there other instruments that we can invest in month one?
None, sir.
None?
CPA po and
Yeah.
CP.
Yeah, CPA and CPB, they're available on the first month, right? Take a look at the availability here. So we can invest in CPA month one and CPB month one. So for CPA, the outflow will be on month one also. And when will be the inflow?
4.
Okay, 4. Right? 4. So this will be 3 months siya, no? And then for CPB 1, we will invest it on month 1, and then it will mature on month 7 because this is every 6 months. All right? Okay. Now, how about for month 2? What are the investments that we can do on month 2?
TBA, sir.
TBA. So let's call it TBA 2. Okay, so this is TBA, instrument TBA, which we will be investing in month 2. So when will be the outflow of TBA 2?
Beginning of month 3, sir.
Beginning of month 3 or beginning of month 2?
Outflow, yeah, beginning of month 2.
Month
Yes.
2, okay, tama. And then when will be the inflow?
Beginning of month 3, sir.
Yes, because it's only 1 month. The term is only 1 month for TBA. How about TBB? Can we invest TBB in month 2? Take a look at our tables, class.
No, sir.
No. Okay, so we do not have any TBB2 because TBB will not be available in the second month. This is from the information the company gathered. All right. So no TBB for month 2. Also no CPA2 and also no CPB2. Right? Clear on that, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So how about month 3? TBA, can we invest in TBA for month 3? Yes.
CPA.
Right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
And the outflow will be at the beginning of month 3, and this
3,
will
4.
mature. Yeah, correct. 3, 4. All right. Any others that we can invest in month 3?
TBB.
TBB. Correct. TBB, that will be 3, right? So this will be month 3, and then it will mature on month 5 because TBB is 2 month terms, right? Okay, how about month 4? So this is TBA 3, TBB 3.
CBA.
Okay, TBA 4.
Four.
What else?
CPA. CPA.
CPA 4, right? Okay, so we conveniently named the variable as 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on when they will be invested. Okay, so as the name suggests, this will be invested on month 4. This will mature on month 5. This will be invested in month 4. And this will mature on month what? Month
7.
7. Yan, okay. All right, good. So what else? What other investment schemes can we have? What
We
else,
can
class?
We
Yes.
can have TBA on month 5
Okay, correct. TBA in month 5.
and TBB 5.
Yes, TBB 5. Correct. So we
That's
can have TBA 5 and TBB 5. So both will be invested in month 5. But TBA 5 will mature on month 6, right? And then TBB 5 will be invested in month 5, and then it will mature at the beginning of month 7. All right. Any other investments, class? Take note of the window, class. What we are interested in is only up to the beginning of month 7. Why month 7? Because this is when we are required to pay the 3 million. Okay, so we will have to look at the cash flow up to the beginning of month 7. So any other investment, class?
We still have TBA 6.
Okay, thank you. That's correct. We still have TBA 6, okay, which we will invest at month 6 and which will mature at month 7, right?
Yes po.
Okay, good. Okay, so TBB, hindi pwede, no? No. And then, do we still need TBA 7?
Yes, we have that.
TBA 7, if we invest in TBA 7, it will mature on the month 8th
Eight.
month, right? But our window is only up to month 7. So we're not anymore interested what will happen at the beginning of month 8. We're only interested up to the beginning of month 7 because that's the time that we will have to pay the balance of 3 million. All right? Okay, so that identifies now our decision variables. How much do we invest in TBA1, TBB1, CPA1, CPB1, and etc. TBA2, 3, 4, etc. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 decision variables. Okay? So I will not write that anymore. Just make sure you remember. Those are our decision variables. Those 12 variables here. Now, what will be our objective function? What is it that we want? Are we maximizing a profit? Are we maximizing our profit and are we minimizing something, class?
Wow. I think it's maximizing po.
Maximizing what?
Maximizing the profit to reach the 8.
Okay, maximizing the profit. Pero read the statement, class. Huh? Read the statement. Read what are we
I
told?
think, sir, it's minimizing.
Ay, minimizing pala.
Yes, correct. We're minimizing something. What are we minimizing?
The investment amount.
Okay, so what will that be? What will be our equation? Mean Z is equal to? So you're correct. We would like to minimize. Okay, but what are we minimizing?
The investment amount for each yung TBA1, TBB1. Ano tawag din, sir?
Okay, our decision variables, no? Or the amount to be invested in this. So the sum of this, is it minimize the sum of TBA1 plus TBB1 plus CPA1 plus CPB1 plus TBA2? So is it the sum of all of this, class?
I think, sir, yes.
Okay, thank you. Who's that? Erwin, ba yan?
Sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Pero Erwin, ang gusto talaga natin, what we want is to minimize our sinking fund. Okay, because what will happen is to establish a sinking fund and we will let that sinking fund grow in such a way that at the beginning of the 3rd month, we have enough funds, 2.5, to draw out from that fund and then pay our supplier. And then at the beginning of month 5, we have enough funds to pay our supplier again. And at the beginning of month 7, we have enough funds to pay 3 million to our supplier. So what we're really interested in is to minimize our sinking fund, which is minimize the sum of, so let's write that, insert symbols. So the sum. So it's the sum of, so that's TBA1, TBA1, and then TBA2, and then CPA1, and then CPB2. All right. So there. We're only going to minimize the initial investment, and the initial investment is the sinking fund. So that's TBA1, TBB1, CPA1, CPB1. Okay, TBA1, I'm sorry. So this is wrong. This should be TBA1. Oops. TBB1. So this is CPA1 and CPB1. All right. So all the month ones. Okay, we would like to minimize the total amount of the sinking fund. Okay, is that clear, class? I will not write it now, but I will assume that you're responsible enough, class, to write the constraints. Huh? Okay, so this is our objective function. What's our constraint? What's our constraint, class?
The inflow, sir, for months 3, 5, and 7.
Okay, you're correct. The inflows for month 3, 5, and 7. But let me add something to that, Irving. It's not only month 3, 5, 7. Also the inflow for month 2, 4, 6. Right? Because there will be inflows coming in month 2. So do we have any requirement for month 2? Okay, so let me just highlight that. So for month 2, class, what are the inflows that we will have?
TBA1, sir.
TBA1. What about TBA1?
Yung magmamature nung ininvest natin nung
Yes, so that
Month
will be
one.
what? That will be what?
that will be available for investment again for month 2.
Okay, so that will be equal to how much? How much will that be?
Value times maturity.
Okay, so that will be TBA1 times what?
1 plus
The-
yield to maturity.
Yes, correct. It will be TBA1, whatever amount this is, multiplied by 1 plus the yield to maturity, right? Tama ba, class? So what we're getting here, let me just make it as a factor. 1 is equal to 1 plus whatever this factor is, right? So let me make it as a control 1, just a factor, not as a decimal number. Okay, maybe 3 decimal places. All right. So this is the factor, right? 1.1018. This is 1 plus the yield to maturity. Multiply that by whatever TBA is. Correct, class? Right?
Yes, sir.
Are there any other cash flows occurring on month 2? Inflows at month 2? Inflows or outflows? So for beginning 1, actually these are all outflows, right? Outflows. So that will be -1. There will be no interest yet. This is -1. Why is this -1? So it will be -1 times TBA1, -1 times TBB1. All of this will be -1 because these are all outflows going out. Let's say the amount of TBA1 is 100 pesos. So if we multiply -1 times 100, that means -100. So that means that's an outflow of 100. Okay, and based on this, we're looking at the outflows. Outflows on month 1. There are no other outflows on month 1. Only these 4. Okay, so the factor for month 1 is -1, which means -1 times whatever TBA1 of 2 or CPA is. Now for the month 2, what are the inflows and the outflows? So you will look at the outflows and the inflows. So for example, TBA2, it's an outflow for month 2. Therefore, for month 2, this will be -1, right? You agree, class? Correct? TBA2 will have a factor of -1 on month 2. Why? Because TBA2 will be invested in month 2. So money will go out on month 2. It will be placed on that instrument. Correct, class? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So any other cash flow on month 2? Well, you just have to look at the outflows and the inflows. Okay? So as far as the outflow is concerned, there's no other 2 here. As far as the inflow is concerned, there's only one also, this one. So this inflow has a positive factor. This outflow has a negative factor. Okay? So these are the money that will be involved at the beginning of month 2. Okay? So what will be the sum of this? It will be whatever 1.018 times TBA1, and then minus 1 times TBA2, it will be equal to what, class? Equal to
Total cash flow.
total cash flow. It will be equal to what? There will be a certain amount. So we get 1.018 times TBA1 because TBA1 will mature. And then we subtract 1 times TBA2. It will be equal to what? Let me write that.
0.018, sir.
0.018. Try again. 1 point. Okay. See, this is simple math class. Simple arithmetic. TBA1. So that's times TBA1. And then minus 1 times TBA2. It's equal to what, class? What do you think? 1.018 times TBA1, okay, minus 1 times TBA2 is equal to, it's there, class, it's there on top. You can find the answer there on top. On row
0.08.
5, on row 5, class, it's there on row 5.
The return.
Okay, we need that
2.5. 2.5 million, sir.
2.5 million? 8 million? No. No. Okay, we're talking of month 2 class, huh? We're talking of month 2. The answer is equal to class. All right, let me draw the answer. Okay. The answer is equal to there's the answer. Why, class? Why? What's the answer?
Kasi sir, parang pwede ba siyang i-reinvest? Ganun ba yun, sir?
Oo, kasi sinking fund to class. This is earmarked for the purchase. Okay? Do we need already to pay something in month 2? None. Not yet. Right? So whatever we get from TBA1 minus whatever we will put into TBA2 should be equal to 0, which means everything that we will get from TBA1, the returns and the principal, should be invested all in TBA2. Right? So this means whatever, as I said, class, whatever we get from TBA1 will all be invested in TBA2. Therefore, it means that 1.018 TBA1 is equal to 1 times TBA2. So whatever we get, the proceeds from TBA1 will be put into TBA2, everything. Okay, remember, this is a sinking fund and everything, all that will be invested or all that will be collected will be earmarked for the payment of the supplies. Did you get it, class? Hello? Hello, class?
Yes po, please proceed po.
Oh, okay. So take note, class, we already earmarked the cash flows that we need. We need 2.5 million at the beginning of month 3. We need 2.5 million at the beginning of month 5. We need 3 million at the beginning of month 7. So which means the rest of the months, we don't need the cash flow yet. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're plotting the inflows and the outflows, and then we will equate it to how much we need. So for example, I'll just end in this month 3 class. What are the inflows and the outflows for month 3? Okay, we take a look at the inflows and the outflows here. So for the outflow here, month 3, this one. Okay, so this will be -1, right? For month 3, TBA3 will be -1 because it's an outflow. TBB also will be -1, right? What else? Anything more? No more here. How about for the inflows? What will be coming in month 3? We have here 3, right? So what's TBB? TBB1 class. It will mature in month 3, and how much are we going to get? it will be 1 plus the yield to maturity. So this will be here on month 3, 1.035. Right? What else? Are there inflows in month 3? Yes, this one. Okay, it's TBA2. Correct? TBA2. So this one will be what? How much will this be, class? The factor. Hello? TBA. TBA class. So what will be the factor here?
1.018, sir.
Yes, 1.018. Because the returns of TBA2 is 1.8%. Okay? TBA2 was invested on month 2. So it will mature on month 3. Okay? So we have -1 here on month 2, but on month 3, it will be 1.018 already. All right, so what's the constraint here? Whatever your inflows minus your outflows should be equal to 2.5 million. What does that mean, class? 1.035 times TBB1, which is what you get from TBB on month 1, invested in month 1, plus 1.018 times TBA2, which is what you'll get from TB instrument 2, which we invested in month 2, minus what you will be investing in TBA3, minus what you will be investing in TBB3, it should equal to 2.5 million. Okay, in other words, you have to set aside 2.5 million. So you'll get something from TBB1, you'll get something from TBA2, then you put aside something for TBA3, then you put aside something for TBB3, and then the rest will be paid. Okay, 2.5 million goes out to be paid. Okay, class, you get it?
Sir, question.
Yes, yes.
On month 2, sir, we had an reinvestment from
Sorry,
I think
medyo
TBA.
choppy yung ano.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sige.
Yung month 2 po, nagkaroon tayo ng reinvestment nung sa TBA 1 ba yun? Magiging factor din po ba yun sa ibang months na kapag ka nakakuha tayo ng cash, kasi isa lang yung outflow natin ng 2, kung saan i-reinvest yung na return? Or straightforward siya, TBA 1 to TBA 1 lang?
Sorry,
Or pwedeng lumipat?
Again. TBA,
Ano yung saan tayo nagka-reinvestment sa month 2, sir?
sa month 2, dito,
Apo.
ito, this one, di ba? TBA to be invested in month 2. This one.
I-reinvest po natin dyan. Yung magiging factor din po ba sa month 3 kasi maraming possible outflow kung saan na i-reinvest namin siya sa ibang funds, or straightforward lang siya, TBA to TBA lang?
No, not necessarily. Ganito yan, ano? Dali Kasi wala pang pumapasok na CPA dito no? Basta ang importante, may makukuha tayong pera, we will be able to get some funds on month, let's say month 3, no? The money will be coming from TBB investment and a TBA investment. Okay? So Solver will now decide whatever we get here, we will invest either in TBA3 or TBB3.
Okay, sir.
Okay? It does not mean that TBB, what we get here will be solely invested in TBB. No. Right? Because these are now different investments.
Okay, sir.
It's now a different security. So as far as TBA1 is concerned, this already matured sa month 2. Tapos na yun. It's already closed. Okay? It's already quote-unquote dead. Okay? So we already got our money with that. So for TBA2, it's another investment. Okay? Is that clear, class? Hello? Did that
Yes,
answer
sir.
your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kasi because here, class, okay, so TBB1 will mature on month 3. So we'll get a certain amount here. Let's say we'll get let's say 100 pesos. Okay? And then TBA2, we got, let's say we got sample only 250 pesos. Okay? So this whole amount is 350. Okay, 350. Now, some of it will be invested in TBA3. Okay, we don't know what that is. But we're not saying that whatever we'll invest in TBA3 came from TBA1. We don't know, or TBA2. No, we're not saying that. What we're saying is whatever proceeds we get in month 3, some of it will go to some of it will go to TBA3, some of it will go to TBA4, TBB3, TBA3, some of it will go to TBB3. But whatever we put there, class, whatever we put to these two, when we get the difference, it should equal to 250. What does that mean? What does that mean, class? It means that we can only invest here, let's say, we can only invest here 50 or 60. If this is 60, then this is 40. Why is that so? 350 minus 60 minus 40, that's 250. What's the purpose of this 250? We cannot reinvest it in TBA3 or TBB3 because we will have to pay this 250. We're going to use it to pay the obligation that we have on month 3. This one will be the residual of what we received and the inflow and what will be reinvested in other instruments. The residual will be used to pay our cash flow requirement for month 3. Okay, so it's a simple plotting. How much do we need at month 3? What are the inflows? What are the outflows? Okay, how much will go to the outflows? And take note that what we can only put to the outflows should be net of what we will be paying. Diba, itong 2.5 million. And so on and so forth. You can plot now for month 4, for month 5, for month 6, for month 7. Of course, for month 7, okay, there will be no negatives. Why will there be no negatives for month 7? Because there's no need anymore to invest in month 7. So everything here in month 7 will be all positive. Okay, because this is the terminal month. Okay, so whatever inflows we have here should equal to 3 million. Okay, so this now tells us how we are able to do the cash flow, come up with an initial investment, put it in this instrument, and then let it roll. Okay, let our investment roll so that we're able to get our cash on the required months. 2.5 at the beginning of month 3, 2.5 at the beginning of month 5, and 3 million at the beginning of month 7. Okay, so those will be our constraints. So we have a constraint for month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6, month 7. No constraint for month 1 because month 1 is the setting up of your sinking fund. Okay, month 1 will be your objective function. We were going to minimize whatever TBA1, TBB1, CPA1, CPB1 is R. All right? Clear, class? Clear? Feedback naman please kung if you became more confused. So this is just about plotting your cash flow and identifying what are the factors for your inflows and your outflows. And next meeting, we're going to set one formula so that we can plot these indices. We'll have just one formula, and then we will copy the formula to all the cells so that we're able to factor out. We're able to define what are the factors for those cells. All right. Any questions, class?
None so far, sir.
So, why are you so silent?
Absorbing, sir.
Okay. It's good we recorded this. I almost wanted not to record it anymore because we only have a few minutes. But let me stop recording now.